Congresswoman tries her best to destroy Castillo to save her son on today's Miami Vice. Miami Squeeze was directed by Michelle Manning and was written by Ted Mann and Peter McCabe from a story idea by Mann, McCabe, and Robert Ward. We're now more than halfway through Miami Vice's final season, and we're entering a stretch of decent yet forgettable episodes. To the strains of Chris Ray's Working on It, the Vice detectives interrupt a delivery of cocaine by boat. During the bust, Crockett shoots and kills one of the young couriers, while the other two couriers steal the cocaine and flee. The drugs are the property of a young English drug lord named Sebastian Ross, played by Robert Joy. Sebastian dresses in three-piece suits and carries a walking stick and has a beloved dog named Edwina. Sebastian visits one of his henchmen, Morales, who is played by Mario Ernesto Sanchez, who we have now seen playing 5 different characters in 5 different episodes. Congratulations, Mr. Sanchez, that is the record. Morales points Sebastian in the direction of the 2 couriers who stole his cocaine. Castillo meets with Police Commissioner Williford, played by Conrad Roberts. The courier shot by Crockett turns out to have been a campaign worker for a tough anti-drug congresswoman named Madeline Woods. Congresswoman Woods is interested in talking to Castillo about Miami's ever-burgeoning drug problem, and Williford is optimistic that Castillo can convince her to push for more police funding. Congresswoman Woods is played by the legendary and ageless Rita Moreno, who will always be Anita in West Side Story. Castillo and Williford meet with Congresswoman Woods and her no-nonsense campaign manager Shaw, played by Peter Nelson. The meeting goes poorly because Castillo refuses to brief Woods on the status of current undercover assignments. Because the couriers who stole the cocaine are in their early 20s, Castillo thinks Vice should recruit a young hotshot undercover agent to get close to them. This is all Miami Vice's flimsy excuse to bring back Joey Harden, the undercover DEA agent played by Justin Lazard that we met a few episodes back in Line of Fire. Crockett meets with Joey and gives him some pointers on the best way to convincingly portray a sleazebag drug dealer. Crockett will then spend most of the rest of the episode in a multi-day therapy session, meeting with a psychiatrist played by Jane Haynes to work through his lingering issues over his psychotic break. It's clear from these scenes that Crockett knows Vice work is destroying him, and that he realizes his time as a Vice cop is drawing to a close. While Hard Left by industrial hip-hop group Tackhead plays, Joey meets with one of the couriers, a kid named Ricky DeMaria, who is played by stand-up comedian Paul Provenza. Joey offers to help Ricky move the stolen coke. They make a plan to work together, but before that can happen, Sebastian finds Ricky and half of his stolen coke and tortures him into giving him the name of the other courier who has the other half. When Joey and Tubbs show up at Ricky's place, they find Ricky dead. Sebastian and his henchmen kidnap the other courier, a kid named Louis, played by Daniel Villarreal. Louis turns out to be Congresswoman Woods' teenage son. Sebastian says he'll kill Louis and ruin the Congresswoman unless she helps him get Vice off his back. So Woods meets with Castillo under the guise of apologizing for their earlier fight. As a peace offering, she tips him off to a large cocaine deal going down that night. Vice shows up too late to stop the deal, and an eyewitness on the scene claims Castillo had been there earlier and ripped off the drug dealers. Everyone kind of ignores this because it sure doesn't sound like something Castillo would do. An undercover Joey and Switek meet with Morales. Switek gets Morales drunk while Joey searches his place for clues to Ricky's murder. He finds a photo of Ricky with Louis, suggesting Congresswoman Woods has been compromised. Castillo meets with Congresswoman Woods again, and she plays him a tape she doctored to make it sound like he'd been ripping off drug dealers. She'll give the tape to Internal Affairs unless Castillo resigns. Castillo refuses, of course, and Shaw shoots him in the chest. Crockett and Tubbs burst in and arrest Shaw, and Castillo is rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Louis is arrested on drug charges and brought to headquarters. He's certain his mother will help him beat the charges, but Congresswoman Woods, who is horrified by her rapid descent into corruption, announces her intention to work with Vice and take down Sebastian. While wearing a wire, she meets with Sebastian and gets him to confess that he was the one behind the plot to take down Castillo. Sebastian's very good dog Edwina detects the wire, however, and Vice bursts in before Sebastian can kill the Congresswoman. At some point in the melee, Edwina gets shot, and I gather we're all supposed to chuckle at the way cold, ruthless Sebastian goes all to pieces at this and yells at Vice to call an ambulance for his dog, but dude's dog just got shot. I'd go to pieces too. In the hospital, a recovering Castillo tells Crockett how much the Vice team means to him. It's not a great episode, but it's fine. It's always nice seeing Rita Moreno, and it's nice seeing Joey Harden again. Vice doesn't need a young hotshot detective, but I like Joey, and Justin Lazard is very likable and charming in the role. Sebastian is more of a mass of foppish affectations than a believable villain, but the character fits in fairly well with the world of Miami Vice. I can't imagine this episode popping up on too many best of Miami Vice lists, but it's good enough to get 3 flamingos from me. next time Crockett's no-good cousin blows into Miami to cause some trouble. Please join me then, and in the meantime, hit subscribe or talk to me on Twitter, and I will see you here later.